So I would like to begin by thanking Vanderlei for pulling this session together and thanking all of you for joining us today. While we would have loved to be in person in Kuala Lumpur, we appreciate the chance to join you virtually. Now, as you can see from this slide, there are three of us who worked together on this presentation and on the event that we'll be talking about. Amy Millin, unfortunately, is not able to be with us this morning, but we include her in spirit. Therefore, Cecelia and I will share the duties of this presentation. I will begin with an overview of our program and the context for our participation in the international initiative that is mentioned in our abstract. I will share with you our understanding of sustainability and, in particular, how we understand cultural sustainability. Then Cecelia will provide a summary of how we framed the gathering, what it looked like, and then we hope to spend most of our time talking about the key takeaways and leftovers from the gathering in hopes that these will spark some conversation at the end of our session today. So the three of us are connected through the MA in Cultural Sustainability graduate program at Goucher College here in the United States. And by the way, we affectionately call this program the MACS program, M-A-C-S, so you may hear one or both of us use that term. But the three of us continue to cook up all kinds of ideas together, including gatherings like the one that we will discuss today. So this slide, I think, gives you some background information about our program. And I'm excited that this year we will actually be graduating our 100th students. So we are young, but vibrant and growing. Now, the Communicating Sustainabilities Gathering that we will talk about grew out of a partnership that we have with the Smithsonian Institution, which is our nation's premier museum and educational institute. When they were contacted for a US partner to join this international initiative, our colleagues at the Smithsonian recommended our program. We were really excited about that. And as a leader in defining the concept of cultural sustainability, with faculty and alumni working as practitioners and thought leaders in the field, we saw this as a great opportunity to expand the conversation. Now, our program was founded by folklorist and anthropologist Dr. Rory Turner, who, in collaboration with Dr. Michael Atwood Mason, defines cultural sustainability this way. Cultural sustainability is a generative, reciprocal research practice that engages the whole social and cultural ecosystem to chart the course of self-conscious cultural change towards enhancing community vitality, well-being, and cherished aspects of their expressive lives. And the citation is at the bottom of the screen for this article, but you can also use your phone to photograph that QR code in order to access the article in the journal. So what does this definition mean in practice? Well, cultural sustainability is an approach to sustainability that values the principles identified here. Reciprocity. We see reciprocity as giving communities a say in how research is not only presented, but to make certain that that research benefits the community in a way that they see as important. Collaboration. This is about designing our work to be community-driven. Generative. This is about building on knowledge to create even more knowledge, sort of always learning, kind of the idea of the spiral, where you keep moving forward, but you look back and you see what you've learned and you bring that forward with you. Respect. We view our community members and folks within the community as colleagues. Multivocality, recognizing the value of local knowledge and the inclusiveness of using all voices, the inclusion of all voices, even dissenting voices, where I think we find the most creativity. but also honoring linguistic differences in how we all see the world. And then sustainability, honoring the fact that sustainability is a cultural construct and therefore understood differently for different groups. We believe that all cultures have a right to design their own sustainability strategies with agency and access to the resources to help them do that. So why do we believe this? Because humanity exists in a multiplicity of rich ecologies of human communities integrated into and with the natural world. Ultimately, agency must reside with the community if we are to achieve inclusivity and equity in deriving long-term sustainable solutions. So this is the context that brings us to the design of our gathering. I will now turn it over to my colleague, Cecelia Ottenweller, to take us further from here. Cecelia?
Hello, I'm Cecelia. So in convenings like this one, in governmental discussions, global leadership conferences, the AILA conference, the term sustainability is commonly understood as having three pillars or legs: social, economic, and environmental. But that's short-sighted. True sustainability runs on four legs, not three. Culture is the fourth leg. John Hawkes, cited here, established this essential truth. If you've not read John Hawkes, The Fourth Pillar of Sustainability, Culture's Role in Public Planning, please take a moment to pull out your smartphone and scan the QR code we've posted here. He wrote it for the Cultural Development Network in Victoria, Australia, and every person who goes through the MACS program reads John Hawkes' book. It's that important. So culture underpins every human activity. Every human activity. That includes what we're doing here at this conference. Culture encompasses the principles, the histories, the traditions of a society. And having culture as the fourth leg moves any efforts towards true sustainability and a vision better adapted to the increasing complexity of human systems. So top-down, hegemonically derived strategies forget culture. They assume homogeneity and are focused on large macro-level interventions that are too often paternalistic and self-serving. In my mind, it's a too short step towards an oversimplified dairy farm perspective of humanity, because it disregards specific traditional expressions at the item level, at the community level. It disregards that every community is its own special thing. It disregards the personality and the intimate relationship that exists between a community and its niche. So Goucher's MA in Cultural Sustainability program, the MACS program, partnered with the University of Glasgow and the Universidade Federal de Sergipe in Brazil on a two-day international conversation for sustainability activists. Amy Skillman asked my fellow MACS alum Amy Millin and I to collaborate with her in developing Goucher's program for the conference, and it was a great adventure. So we put together a full day of discussion on the Goucher campus for the first day of the event. It was jam-packed and we were exhausted by the end of the day. We went from early in the morning until late in the afternoon, then went to dinner afterwards. The time for this presentation is short, so I'm not going to go through every single one of these bullets, but I once again want you to pull out your smartphone, point it at the QR code, and please go to the page and look at our program. When you go to that page, you're going to see little plus signs next to every one of these bullets. Expand those. You'll learn more about what the presentation was, and we have videos for every single one of them. And trust me, there's so much meat and potatoes there. You're going to enjoy what you'll find there. It was incredible. It was well attended, and it generated a lot of deep conversation. So let's look at the leftovers and the takeaways. The takeaways reinforce the importance of cultural sustainability as a research design that enables sustainable change. Culture must be a primary pillar of sustainability, including including culture virtually guarantees inclusivity, collaboration, and community-created interventions. It's important that I read all of these, otherwise I'll just go on for the next 20 minutes, so bear with me. First, art is an immediate connector. There's no other better way to do this, okay? It immediately increases awareness and generates connection to important issues. Second, sustainability versus sustainabilities. The difference between these two words is huge, and Tim Frandy is the one that pointed this out to us. It was one of those moments where my brain just went boom. He put together a presentation called From Sustainability to Sustainabilities, Dialogue, Crisis, and Power. And he made the incredible point that sustainability in the singular automatically assumes a homogeneous solution and a homogeneous global community. When in actuality, every human group is in an intimate conversation with its ecological niche, and any interventions for those relationships must be derived by and with the community. Otherwise, it won't work. Community-driven academic research. Once again, brain went. One of our speakers was an activist professor with Prairie View A&M in Texas, a historically Black college here in America. He works with Black communities. He referred to typical academic research strategies historically deployed within these communities and other communities as being slash and grab. Essentially, researchers building their professional career by going into communities, taking what they want, and then going away without giving anything back. This actually happened to a community of one of the alum from my program. She belongs to an indigenous community, and they only had one native speaker of their language left. And several decades ago, some researchers went in, they captured the language, and then they took it and left. And they wouldn't give that language back to the community unless they paid for the right for it, that's not reciprocity. That's not how this works. So research within communities must be developed with the community and then given back to them. Deprioritization of elite corporate world. One of our presentations was a partnership between an environmental scholar and an economist who looked at local solutions for delivering sustainable seafood in a small coastal community on the American East Coast. It was really powerful. And then also the ethics of reciprocity, continuing theme. Reciprocity is an essential tenet of our program. One of our presentations was on regenerative tourism. Resources brought to bear in any kind of work must come back and benefit the community. Prioritization of allyship and collaboration. Get the researchers out of the ivory tower. Get into the community, work in community, because success comes from ensuring that there are no hegemonically derived top-down delivered solutions. And ensure access to all. I put that in quotes because we did our absolute best to accommodate access to our program by deaf participants. And we featured a presentation addressing deaf access issues. It was a valiant effort. We did a great job, but it wasn't perfect. And that's the thing. Sustainability is an asymptotic effort. We're always pursuing inclusivity, a solution that fits all needs, and perfection is unattainable. We believe, and we believe in our conversations in this event demonstrate that including a cultural sustainability approach will get any effort closer to the goal. And that gets us to our last point, awareness. Who is missing? This is cyclical. You go through these steps. You're never going to come to perfection. So you have to go through it over and over and over again. Wash, rinse, and repeat. Always asking the question, who did we miss? How did we miss them? Why did we miss them? How can we better strategize to make sure more inclusivity is achieved? So that brings us to the end of our program. We're very grateful to Goucher College, the University of Glasgow, and Universidade Federal de Sergipe for the opportunity to be part of this historic event. And thank you so much for attending our presentation.
Yes, and we look forward to the conversation in the Q&A afterwards.